Hello, my name is Batthew Spookus, and my co-host.
I'm the Highwayman.
This is our second part for our fall/Halloween Spooktacular episode.
Really? Batthew?
I was gonna just say bat, but then I effed it up last second.
See, I just went with something simple that actually pertained to what we're doing.
No, it's supposed to be spooky. It's October time.
I know. Hey, and the Highwayman wasn't.
Oh yeah, he was very creepy. That's why I love that episode.
But welcome to episode... You okay there?
Well, don't point out that I'm coughing. That's why I lean away from the mic.
Welcome to episode 2 of our two-parter of Over the Garden Wall.
Yep, our special episode. This time we're starting with episode 6, and we're ending on the final episode 10. Like we said, I'm new to the series, but Ben has seen it before and has introduced me to it, which I'm very appreciative of.
I'm actually very happy, because, when it comes to new shows, some people are like, yeah, some people are just like, ugh, and, the guy who's introducing it to you, I'm just like...
Hey, man, that's how I feel about with Korra. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You're glad I'm enjoying this? This is
Oh,
great.
I'm very glad you are.
Alright, let's see. We'll start off with episode 6, Lullaby in Frogland.
Aha, I get you, show. I get you.
I don't get it.
Lullaby in Birdland?
Is it Birdland? Is that the original
That's the song.
Okay, I thought of a different Lullaby thing. I was like, Frogland. Okay. Alright, so we open on a ferry heading down the river. We see a number of frog people in period clothes, and little frog kids riding big giant bugs across the bow of the ship. It's really funny. Then we see Wirt and Greg. Wirt says that this is the last day of their adventure. But for some reason, this time Beatrice is very wistful, or uncharacteristically wistful.
Uncharacteristically wistful. And of course, she's like, yeah, it's great. And of course, Wirt's like, you okay? She's like, yeah, just thinking. And then we get good old Greg singing about
Adelaide again.
Yep, the good old Adelaide Parade.
Yep. And this time, though, Wirt joins in on the song. He actually sings with them, and it's a very happy little cute scene of the brothers getting along finally.
Yep, indeed. Also, just to point out, the frog.
Yeah.
He's as tall as Greg now.
Yeah, he's just standing up with the other frogs in the area.
Because when he's
been
so
holding
small,
him before,
he's been holding him. Now this time, the frog is as big as Greg.
Yeah, he's standing. And this time we learned its name for now is George Washington.
Yep, George Washington. And it's funny because, everyone's like singing about the Adelaide Parade. And of course, Wirt's like, what's with Beatrice? And he's like, why is George Washington naked?
Yeah, he shouldn't be naked.
And of course, because every single frog has clothing except for George Washington.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. But also, this is when we finally figure out, despite the ending of the last episode 5, that it was they actually don't have any money. So how did they get on the ship? We found out they snuck on.
Yep, they had to sneak onto the ship. And we also get this weird little banter where Wirt's like, you don't even know if that frog's a guy or a girl.
Oh yeah.
And Greg's just like covers up George's ears and says, you don't listen to that. You're a manly frog.
Yeah.
You need to get some socks.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And that's when we get the police.
The two frog cops looking around the corner. It's like, no, but none of the frogs are talking. They're also like riveting like normal frogs do. It's important.
None of the frogs ever talk. They just like,
Yep, they start running around and get chased. They all like, they didn't say like, we don't know if it's because they snuck out or because George Washington's naked, but they start getting chased.
It's because George Washington's naked. And he's like, no, it's because we snuck on and because you threw our money off into the fountain.
Yep, and they start running around and they are chased up and down the things, and they finally, all of them hide inside of a storage closet.
Yeah, it's funny because like as they're getting chased around, a bunch of tadpoles falls out of a woman's, and one of them gets stepped on
like twice.
Yeah, like
the
twice.
first time they slip on it. Yeah,
they go past like the captain, and they're like Greg just like salutes.
Yeah, Greg stops, skips running, and then the
cop ones are just
stop, salute, and they keep running. It was a very cute scene. They dive into a storage thing, and then they pop out as another members of the band.
Yeah, they're literally Wirt and the frog are two-manning it because they're like the really tall person.
Yeah.
And Greg just walks out with a drum on his head.
Yep. He says, I'm a drum.
It's like, drum me. Drum my face. And of course they're like, yep, just keep walking, keep walking.
Yep, they continue on and they finally... Did they get pushed into the band?
Yeah, pretty much. They got pushed into the performance. And it doesn't really go...
They're very hesitant on playing. The clarinet doesn't get hit yet.
Not yet, because they're all about to, blend in with it, and it doesn't go well because, Wirt's supposed to drum the face and all that stuff.
He's like, ow, every time he gets hit. He's like, ow, 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 every time he gets hit in the face.
Right, and then all of a sudden, like, some shenanigans happen where, like, someone, like, flings their, like, I think Wirt, like, flings his hand, hits the bassoonist, and the bassoonist drops gets knocked into the crowd, and some more shenanigans happen, and he falls off the edge.
Yep, and the bassoon's left on the ground. Greg says that Wirt should play the bassoon, since we found out last episode that he can play the clarinet. Yep. He says they're completely different, which means that's not how it works at all. That'd be a terrible idea.
And then of course, as that's all happening, even Beatrice is like, "Come on!"
Oh no, it's because
like,
Greg posits you play the clarinet. He says, "I can't do that. I only know the clarinet, and if I play it, I will definitely get caught." Then Beatrice perks up, saying, "Oh yeah, play the bassoon. It's the same thing. You can do it."
Yeah, play it because who knows? Maybe we can get kicked off.
Yeah, she doesn't say that, but she's like,
there's a part where she actually blatantly says, "Maybe it's better just to turn yourself in."
Yeah, while they're getting chased, she really wants to just get out of there.
Oh right, that's where it was.
But he starts playing, and everything's turning out great.
And we get as the band's playing, a new development happens.
Yep, finally
the president, George Washington,
finally begins to sing.
Yep, sings. And of course, sung once again by Over the Garden Wall veteran, Jack Jones.
Yep, and is he singing, this is when he starts
singing the titular song? It's a very informative song if you listen to the...
I'm saying this is when he starts singing the titular song, Over the Garden Wall?
Yep, he starts singing the song Over the Garden Wall.
While he's playing successfully and everything's going well, we see Beatrice is still very down looking because of everything's going so well.
Right. And just on a side note, if you listen to the words of this song, very informative. Yeah. But anyway, and even they're singing, there's playing, the whole coat that
gets knocked
off, and they stop. And the cops are like, hey. And then everyone's like, shh, let them play.
And the frogs all tell the cops to continue to let them do their thing, and they keep playing, and everyone loves it. They play the Gordon Wall song, and everyone's just like,
it is great. Beautiful. It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
And
they play it until the boat finally reaches its destination, which is a weird giant muddy mud
pit.
Swamp. Yeah.
And all of the frogs just go in and they start hibernating.
Yeah, they start going underneath the mud and hibernating. It's very funny and but while they are getting ready to go, Beatrice continues to procrastinate them meeting Adelaide over and over.
This excuse this time is they're close, but it's night, so we don't want to bother.
Let's chill out. And everybody's like, okay, fine. Wirt during the night when they're camping, Wirt's telling Beatrice about
how he went to talk to this girl named Sarah, who you really really liked. Yeah, but then she got whisked away by. Funderburker.
Okay,
Funderburker.
Yep,
it's like a weird name.
Yeah, it's a very classical.
And of course, Greg was there. So
did you say Greg was there?
Yeah. He's like, and Greg was there. So he kind of cramped my style, kind of thing. And so
but at this point, while he's telling that story, Beatrice starts to do her best to convince Wirt not to go to Adelaide and to stay here instead.
Right. Yeah. And then and as all this is happening, Greg looks over at the president and sees that he's getting a record contract signed. He's just like,
everything's going.
You did good, Mr. President. You did good.
During the night when they all decide to go in for the night, is Wirt kind of contemplating staying?
He kind of does, and then Beatrice quickly is like, "Great, we don't have to go to Adelaide. Good night."
Yeah, it's just fall right back to sleep.
He's just like, "Wait, what?" Okay.
Yeah, and over the night while everyone's sleeping, we see Beatrice wake up and flees into the night alone.
However, literally immediately as she flies away, Wirt wakes up and is like, "Wait,
we gotta follow her."
Yeah, we gotta follow. And then it's funny because Greg is about to go, turns and sees the president getting socks on his feet, and then
finally
just turns away sadly and walks away. And then we get to this. Ain't that just the way?
We see a weird, crazy rope-covered house, like a rope inside of the house, and there's like a weird hovel next to a tree. It's a very ornate-looking house. It's very cool-looking. We see an old woman, seeming like doing cat's cradle, with some yarn.
Oh, do you know who voices this lady?
We haven't talked yet, but who voices her?
John Cleese.
Oh yeah.
It's Giant
You can tell him doing his like classic Monty Python.
I didn't say who it was yet, but but yeah, and then of course when Beatrice falls down the chimney,
chimney chute and like dust everywhere, and she says, "It's Adelaide. We need to talk."
Right.
Yeah, this is Adelaide, this old lady who's knitting. Also, if you not knitting, she's messing around with rope. There's ropes all over. She's wearing a rope blanket, and she has cat's cradling. This is, if you remember the first episode, we talked about the images in the intro.
She's the lady in bed.
She's the one who was like, knitting something in a bed.
Very important though, the note. Immediately Beatrice comes in and she goes, "Close the flue. The air is going to chill me."
Yeah. Like, Jen, we do that outside air. It's awful. The nighttime air.
So apparently Adelaide and Beatrice made a deal with each other.
Yep, she says that she cannot go through with the deal. She cannot give her the boys.
But what was the deal?
Well, Adelaide gets out of the bed and starts saying, "Oh, I need them. I'm so lonely here, and they need a child servant." And she's like, "Wait, I thought they were just gonna like live with you." Like, yeah, they're gonna live with me, and they're gonna do all my chores, and and it's very bizarre.
But in
exchange, she will give Adelaide some weird bird scissors.
Yeah, weird, ornate, golden bird scissors.
Yep, that will eventually, or they'll be used to clip the wings of the family to return them to being humans, which is what she wanted the entire time.
Yep. And of course, Beatrice is all like, "Okay, you want a child servant, right? Clip my wings, and I'll be your servant."
Yep.
And immediately as this is happening...
Yep, that's when the boys enter, and they're like, "What's going on?" Adelaide just pulls some strings and catches them in a bunch of ropes in a very hilarious way.
And of course, Wirt's like, "I thought we were friends."
Yeah.
And then Adelaide talks about some really creepy stuff, because she wants to fill their heads with cotton. With wool.
Yeah,
and make them mindless servants.
Yeah, they'll do whatever she says when she fills their heads with wool. I'm like, what the heck? This is crazy. But then, Wirt feels betrayed by Beatrice. And it's like, "Beatrice, how could you?" Adelaide then says that she works for the Beast.
Pretty much, yeah.
She specifically says the Beast, yeah.
Well, yeah, the Beast of Eternal Darkness. But it's the Beast.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Beatrice opens up a window at this point. Yeah,
and the night air... we forgot when the boys pop up and they open the door. She says, "Close the night wind, the night air." Beatrice finally opens the window, lets all of the night air in, and it actually melts Adelaide.
Well, not melts her. It disintegrates her because she turns to dust.
Yeah, but first she's visibly melting.
Yeah,
and, being weird,
I don't know. Maybe she was wearing a mask or something. But yeah, she starts melting and then literally turning to dust.
And she's like, "Oh, I guess there really was a night air that would kill her." That was just weird.
And when she looks over,
when Beatrice looks over to see the boys who are still captured, they have escaped, cutting themselves free from the ropes, and
the scissors are gone too.
Well, dang it, dude. We don't know that yet.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't. We know that what's-her-name melted and the boys escaped. Whatever. Who knows? Ignore that fact. The boys escape and they leave Beatrice behind. As they are running, we see that the frog's name is now
we see Benjamin Franklin appear.
Yep. He hops up and they go off into the woods without Beatrice.
Yep, and that's literally how it ends.
Yeah,
in the mist, in the
that
woods.
was a very trippy middle part for me because, all this whole time they're going to Adelaide, that's the whole mission that they're going on, and then the whole revelation that what's her name, Beatrice was tricking them the whole time technically, and it was just like, oh, it was so good.
Well, I mean, I was like you when I first watched this. I was like, why? Well, I was like, okay, she wants to get to Adelaide,
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to be a part of them and stuff like that. So that's why she's rushing them and stuff.
Yeah.
Then of course, after Wirt and she kind of get development going on.
Yeah.
It's oh my goodness, no, I don't want this to happen. And then you find out, I'm like, okay, now it falls into place. Oh, and then that name drop. I work for the Beast.
Yeah, just I'm crazy. Oh boy, that's crazy.
Speaking
that was a really good episode.
Speaking of, I was gonna say any other
I like the whole revelation. The frog thing was cute because I have a long way to think. A lot of campaigns where I play with frog people. So
yeah,
that was fun.
Right. That is very true.
But yeah, the whole aesthetic of the episode, the whole old. It reminded me of. I know you didn't play Red Dead 2 yet, right?
Not yet, but it the ferry and everything like that.
Yeah. Kind
of reminded me of the Louisiana Bayou, those big party.
I was saying because there's a long. Well, you are in Rockstar GTA world, off-named Louisiana in that game. there's a huge mission where you go out on the ferry exactly like that, with the express purpose of robbing it, but it looks exactly, it's like aesthetically looks very similar. It's really, really cool. But that reminded me of that. I just love that whole aesthetic, like the Mark Twain stuff from the Bayou books and all that.
Yeah.
They're always really cool and interesting. But we're going to the next episode.
Next episode, episode 7, The Ringing of the Bell.
Yeah, and I will say now that this was my second of the top 2 episodes. Yeah, between the school one and this one is my other top favorite episode.
Nice.
I love this one. It's so good.
Well, we start off on a rainy day where Beatrice is still in Adelaide's house.
Yeah.
And, she's just looking out, like, all sad and stuff. Then we instantly cut to Wirt and Greg. And Greg is asking Wirt a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And, of course, Wirt's just like, meh, whatever.
While Beatrice is at her house, she's still looking around for something.
Yeah, she is looking around for something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway... she, as that's all happening, Wirt is,
refusing to wait for Beatrice.
Yeah, refusing. And of course, it's just like, I can figure it out. We don't need Beatrice.
Yep.
So, he's like, I got a plan, I can do all this. Greg's like, what's the plan? And Wirt kind of blows up on him. He's just like, look, I have a plan. You don't want to trust me? Go find Beatrice? Whatever. Do whatever you want. You have that power. And Greg's like, that's a lot of power. And all of a sudden, immediately when he notices that that's a lot of power, a tree falls in front of them.
Yeah,
and he's like, did I accidentally knock that over with my powers? And what is it about this tree?
Oh, well, it is a large tree that was cut down in front of them, and it was revealed to see the Woodsman has returned.
Wait, the Woodsman? Don't you mean the Beast?
Oh, yeah, surely he is the Beast. But as he grabs him, he says, don't you see what you're doing? You've riled the Beast, and he's after you, boys, and he knows where you are. And it's just like, they freak out again. He
also mentioned something very odd, where he's like, don't ever, like, you have to keep a strong heart and strong spirit and stuff.
Yeah, don't believe him.
Because if you start giving up, if you start losing hope, that's when he's gonna snatch you.
Yeah, you gotta stay vigilant, he says.
Yeah, stay vigilant. And then Wirt does the old kickaroo.
Yeah,
and,
he freaks out again, kicks the lantern again.
And then runs. And of course, the Woodsman's like, beware the Beast!
Yeah.
And instantly, after he's yelling at the boys to beware the Beast, you just hear, Woodsman.
Yep.
And behind the tree, you just see, like, the Beast is standing behind the tree.
Dark figure again.
And he's just like, we need to talk. And it's like, ooh, spooky.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, Wirt and Greg escape through the top of the tree, through the brush part of the tree around the log.
Yeah, and Greg's like, dude, you did an amazing job. And Wirt's like, see, I got this. Now we need to get out of this rain. And Greg's like, hopefully we don't go to that dilapidated old house. And Wirt goes, hey, let's go to that dilapidated old house. Yeah, that's perfect.
Like, what? Ain't that just the way?
Ain't that just the way?
It's a really funny scene. Wirt, they find the old shack, but inside the shack they see barrels and barrels of the black turtles.
Yep, they see a lot of black turtles, and there's some candles lit, but they don't see anyone.
Yeah, other than that, it's like a pretty normal house. That is when they find a woman who asks Auntie Whisper, "Are you home early?" She peeks around the corner and opens it like, hey, what are you doing here?
And she's kind of dressed like the typical pilgrim slash Puritan kind of
old school Puritan looking. And she asks what they're doing in her house, and of course Greg says, we're burglars. We're here to rob the place.
Greg is like, we're here to burgle your turts.
Yeah.
I love that line.
Well, and of course, Wirt keeps trying to cover his mouth and stop him from talking.
Yeah, and then immediately she's like, look, I don't care, I believe you, just hide. She's on her way here. Mm-hmm. And that's when we see this giant woman?
Well, I was going to say, they hide in the barrel of turtles.
They hide in the barrel of turtles.
Auntie Whispers on her way.
Yeah, and then we see this giant, woman-looking blob thing walk in with giant yellow eyes, freakishly huge, wearing the same garb as the lady. And the voice of this one is... good old Tim Curry.
Frickin' Curry from Muppets on Treasure Island.
Yep. Hey, I thought you were going to say it was from The Worst Halloween when he was the Grand Wizard.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, of course.
Yeah. See, you want to go obscure.
Whatever. Tim Curry from a billion. From God,
literally almost everything.
What was the game where he played from the Russian? He played the Russian.
The game.
Command and Conquer.
Yes. Oh, that's right. He was the Russian in that.
We're going to space. Yeah, he's great in that movie.
But either way, Tim Curry is a huge name. And if you don't know, either ask a friend or look him up. There's at least one thing you know him from.
Yeah.
But anyway, and this is Auntie Whisper.
Yep.
And in a very raspy voice, she's like, has anyone come into the house? And the girl, who's actually known as Lorna, we find out,
Lorna.
is like, no, Auntie, no one has. So no one's going to get devoured. Yeah. No, Auntie, no. And then, of course, she starts getting, Auntie Whispers gets mad because she's like, I can smell them. Tell me where you hid them. Holds up a bell and rings it and goes...
a girl-shaped bell.
Yeah, a girl-looking
girl.
Girl. Yeah, you're right. It's a girl-shaped... I thought you said gross.
No.
But a girl-shaped bell, and she rings it and goes, the ringing of the bell commands...
before that, she says, I can smell them. I can smell 2 little boys or whatever. And then we find out now, Wirt is high school aged.
Yep, because he's like, I'm not a little boy, I'm in high school.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow. That was a revelation for me. Yeah, I was like, wow, he's that old? I thought he was a kid, too. I couldn't tell. That was really funny.
It's Elijah Wood's voice, so he could sound like a kid.
Age.
But then, of course, when we find that little information out, then Auntie Whispers, like, the ringing of the bell commands you. And all of a sudden, Lorna's eyes start glowing, and she just instantly is like, check the barrel over there.
Yep.
And Auntie Whispers goes towards the turtle barrel and goes...
She says, this is the house of doom. How dare you enter this place? And she reaches in, and she pulls out a little black turtle. She says, Lorna.
It's just the turtle smelling bad. And literally puts one in her mouth and sucks it dry.
Yeah.
It's like, so there has...
Also, she was like, her giant weird nose and her, she's like black, teeth that are...
like this...
Like weird,
it kind of looks like a blob monster
teeth.
when it opens its mouth. It has stringy black.
Yeah,
whatever.
Weird
it's
stringy black teeth that are very creepy looking.
Right. This woman looks. Ugh.
Yeah, but she eats the turtle dry and says, "Oh Lorna, you're so silly." And she goes up to this bed like, "I'm going to bed, and you clean this place until it sparkles. The bell commands you." Yeah. And she rings the bell again. And she says, "Oh, Lorna, you know I do this to keep the evil spirits from driving you to wickedness." As she goes up to the thing. So creepy.
Typical Puritans, am I right?
I was going to say, it's so creepy and so interesting. I loved every aspect of this episode.
The moment we hear, some snoring or whatever that sound was coming from upstairs, Lorna goes, "Come out, my little turtles, it's safe." I thought that was adorable, actually. I was like, "Aww." I'm like, "Aww." And then, of course, Wirt's like, "Dude, she's not right."
Oh, also, we keep seeing minor thing. Lorna keeps coughing repeatedly. Oh,
yes.
They finally ask her about that, and she says it's because of her sickness.
Yep, because she got down with the sickness. Yes, I had to do that.
And that's why Auntie Whisper's so hard on her.
Yeah, it is always so hard because, she's hard on her because she's sick. And Wirt's like, "Dude, that's not right. We need to get you to a doctor." And she's like, "I'm not allowed to leave. I have to clean everything, or else the spirits will get me." And Wirt's like, I can help you clean, and then we can run away with each other, right?" And they kind of get all blushy face and
I also love the way they keep phrasing it the outsiders will lead her to become wicked again. It's like, it feels like so coolly Puritan. I love this. I love this so much.
The outsiders and then of course she's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, we'll do." And then enter this weird, very short love song.
Very cute song between the two of them. At this point we find out that Lorna, the Auntie Whispers, is not Lorna's actual aunt.
Oh yes, correct.
Yep. It's a very quick hint dropped that she's not her real aunt, and we find out the frog's name is Dr. Cucumber.
Dr. Cucumber. Yep. And of course, it's like, "Dr. Cucumber, come back." The frog goes up the stairs, and Greg chases said frog.
Yep.
And then ensues. Enter Auntie Whispers.
I was gonna say before that, the love song continues. A lot of furtive looks in between Lorna and Wirt continues during their whole song thing, and there's like, "Oh, I love you." And it's like
lovey-dovey stuff. And then of course, Greg goes upstairs unknown to them, and you're like, "Hey, everything looks clean and stuff. So how about we?"
Yep,
Auntie Whispers "Who are you? Why are you here? You're going to make lead her to wickedness."
Yeah, it's great. They're like, "Oh, you boys better get out or you'll be eaten," and then
they all hide in a different room, the same room that Lorna came out of at the very beginning of this episode.
Before that though, she says, "Oh, if you guys don't leave her, you'll be devoured." And she's like, Lorna, get them out of here. The ring of the bell. Oh, where's the bell?
Where's the bell? Did I put it on the nightstand?
Yep, she doesn't know where the bell is.
Yeah, and then they hide, and she's like, "No, don't do it. She'll devour you." And all of a sudden they're like, "What?" And then Lorna shapes into this like weird demonic.
It's a really,
thing.
really creepy, like spiky mouth.
Big old like. They're not even sharp teeth. They're just like
long
really
and
thin.
Yeah, they're long and thin and
hollowed eyes with like 2 dots.
Yeah, just like floating
like,
really bizarre and creepily. Like it's very, very bizarre looking. It's very, very creepy. They say, "Oh my god, what are you gonna do?" And then is this when he just grabs Greg and just jumps out of a window?
Because Wirt's like, Greg's like, I got a plan, and Greg's like, and Wirt's like, sorry, blah 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 blah. Greg's like, I got a plan, and Wirt's like, I got a better idea. Grabs Greg and just jumps out the window, and Greg's like, yeah, that was a good plan. They run to a river where the ghost thing is, and then Greg goes, okay, my plan, it's time for my plan. Picks up Dr. Cucumber.
Oh, I was gonna say before that, it's a very funny little minor scene when the first monster first pops up. Greg very hilariously points out the obvious, this whole time we thought that the old lady was going to just point out the obvious bait and switch. We thought that the old lady was going to devour us, but it's actually her who's stopping her. It was such a funny, weird little like a lampshading of like obviously like you guys everyone thought that. Dude, it was really funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But yeah, they run to the lake,
and then of course Greg's like, Greg's like, my turn for my plan. Picks up his frog and starts shaking him as the frog glows, and he goes, the ringing of the bell commands you, and the spirit stops, because apparently Dr. Cucumber swallowed the bell.
Yep, and I was gonna say also, like, well, while she's floating behind him, like, she's like, my little turtles, I'm sorry. She's using the same, like, cute thing from earlier to be, like, a really creepy term for her just being, like, a weird monster.
Yeah, but it's really cool. Still apologizing for what she's doing.
Yeah, it's very weird.
So... I forget what the. Hold on, do I have it in my notes?
Greg asks, like, when he shakes the bell that commands you, he wants him. I think he has to be turned into something like.
Turn Dr. Cucumber into a tiger, and it works like no. The ringing of the bell commands you. Don't hurt us and stop, and also leave her and never return.
Yep.
And apparently that works.
Yep, it works perfectly fine, and the thing flies off. Is very, very.
Doing like spooky, like spirit, like and like.
Yep. Auntie Whisper and Lorna thank them for getting rid of the spirits.
But Auntie Whispers is sad because now Lorna doesn't need any healing or anything, so doesn't need Auntie Whispers anymore. Yep. Which of course Lorna's like, dude, we're even though we're not family, we are family, and I'm not ever gonna leave you.
Yeah, she decides to stay and help her, which is a very weird thing. But then, as they're leaving, Auntie Whispers warns them, "Oh yeah, beware my sister Adelaide of the pasture. She's not to be trusted." It's very funny. And then Wirt has a look on his face like, ugh.
Ugh, we know.
And I'm thinking, I would want to get into it, but it feels like a weird, really like a D&D campaign thing where, like, if you came from the other direction, you would have found out the information as opposed to getting tricked and having a horrible situation happen. Like, it was really, really funny. I love that whole angle of, like, the information they needed would have been right there, but they went the wrong way. It's so cool. I love that.
Right.
The boys then continue their journey into the woods.
And then Greg's like, hey, you did it twice. You saved the day twice. And Wirt is just, like, in a state where nothing matters. And, of course, Greg's like, he's like, we're never going to get home, are we? We're not going to do this. And Greg's like, but you got a plan, remember? And Wirt reveals he never had a plan.
I don't know. The plan we're talking about? Yeah, it's
no. It wasn't even that. He was just, I lied.
Yeah, I don't know a plan.
Yep. And then, of course, Wirt laments. And from a distance, you see the beast who's all happy because he's like, soon your hope will disappear. And I'll have you for my own. Turns to the woodsman is like, You better be grateful that boy bested you.
Yeah.
And of course, he's like, "Oh, do you even care that I'm trying to keep your daughter alive? Do you even care?" And the woodsman's like, "Dude, you can't just keep using children's souls as if they're like tokens and stuff like that."
Yeah.
And of course, he's also like, "There's got to be another way." And the beast is like, "No." It's pretty much, he's like, it's my way or the highway kind of thing, because there's no other way. There's only the forest. There's only this forest, and there's only surrender.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and then, while he says that, it cuts back to, like, we see Wirt and Greg walking as, like, he says that line over the
and Wirt's like super sad as they're walking. But and that's the end of the episode. But I just love that line where he's like, "There is only me. There is only my way. There is only this forest, and there is only surrender." I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it's very, very dark and creepy.
And,
it's just like the whole aesthetic. Like, what was that movie? The Witch with the two V's, the Witch or whatever it was called. That movie came out, like, the Puritan movie.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's called The Witch, but it's spelled with like two V's.
Yeah,
it's
with
like
classic the
old school W. Yeah, old school W. It was really, really good and creepy because it was like that weird, creepy Puritan time of like weird, crazy, overly religious maniac people who were just like burning people for no reason. And I love the term. They kept saying wickedness, and it's going to turn to wickedness, and it was like felt very cool. And like I love the aesthetic of the whole episode. This is why it's my second favorite. I'd probably say second favorite compared to the animal one, but like it's so good and so cool and so interesting. I love the aesthetic. The story was really fun. And like just like I said, the little one-off encounters. It was a really, really good one. It was really, really fun. I loved it.
I'm glad, and of course, I was happy because here's a sad bit of trivia. Actually, you can tell with Auntie Whispers, this was after Tim Curry's unfortunate accident.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. But it made me happy. I didn't think about that because I found out that it was Tim Curry, and I found out, what year this was, and I found out what had happened. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that. I was just happy that he got back into it.
Yeah, I'm glad he did such a great role. This is a creepy, cool-ass character. I loved it. I loved Auntie Whisper so much because she looked so weird and bizarre, but they never addressed what the heck her deal is.
Right, yeah.
It's very, very cool. I love the character. I love Tim Curry, so it was a really fun time.
It was beautiful.
Yep. Now let's go to episode 8, Babes in the Woods. This is a very bizarre episode.
It really is. It's for lack of better terms, it's a trip.
Yeah, we open on Beatrice. After writing Beatrice for so long, I started referring to her as Bay in my in my notes. Well,
I call her B.
Yeah,
B-E-A.
Yeah, same.
You say Bay.
Yeah, Bay. Anyway,
this is my babe.
Oh, Bay. No, I keep referring to it because Beatrice is so difficult to damn text this thing.
Seriously, I agree.
We see her flying sadly in a fog. Just through the woods. Because she kind of fades out, and then we see the fish fishing from the boat, from the images in the intro. We see the fish just in a boat, and then we hear Greg. Is it Greg? We see Greg singing or Greg making noise?
Greg hears singing.
It's we see the fish, and then he hears Greg, Wirt, and the frog in a boat making noise, and he looks like kind of upset at them, like, oh, come on, you guys. We see the boys, and it's, Greg. Oh, he's like, home. He's like calling out for home. Like,
he's calling for home, literally.
Yep. The boys are sailing on the foggy lake. And what were they? He's using some kind of instrument, like a guitar, as a oar. But what's the actual thing they're in? I can't tell.
They're in a boat. It's
not a boat. It's like a weird. It looks like a turned over outhouse. A turned over outhouse or something like that.
They like hollowed it out, so it kind of is like a raft. But yeah, it's like kind of.
It looks weird. But we also find out the frog's name is Skipper.
Yep, frog is Skipper. And also when as Wirt's lamenting about how nothing really matters and stuff, kind of gets mad because Greg is being silly and is playing with his weird trumpet thing. That's when
we hear the singing in the distance.
Yep, we hear. If you're interested, we hear the song called "The Jolly Woodsman."
Nice.
But now we already know who's singing it because
of the voice. You can tell. Wirt is also way too sad to care. He's just really depressed at this point. He doesn't care about the noise. Doesn't care about the singing. He starts doing his poetry again to himself as he did in the beginning of the series.
Yep.
He says it's probably the beast singing into the distance. He's probably trying to get us. That's cool. He figures out it's the beast. That's really fun.
Right? Yeah. He's like, it's
really
probably
weird. I mean, not fun. Wirt is too sad to go on and doesn't think they'll ever get home. But Greg keeps believing, like, come on, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And we finally learn the reason why they are lost. Greg says. Wirt says, Greg is acting silly like he always does, and this is your fault that we got in this situation in the first place.
So I shouldn't be doing this, you should.
Greg, it's your job to get us out of this. And then they finally pull off onto land, and Greg and Wirt go under a tree to rest.
Yes.
It's very weird, right? Yeah, the boys sleep under a tree, and Greg wishes for a dream on how he could be a better leader. Because he's really happy that his brother put him in position, even though his brother's doing it out of anger.
And thus, we enter the trip. Because weird, baby-headed winged
I'm going to say, first we see like 5 stars glowing in the sky. And
we hear some weird
join
singing.
Together. Yeah, some weird angelic singing, and then they fuse into one big beam of light that shoots down on the boys. And then a bunch of baby heads
with wings are just like, hey, Greg, listen. And then Greg gets led to a donkey pulling a bed on wheels.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Hey.
Oh, it's a race car bed, FYI.
and just so you guys know who are listening in, to quote Back to the Future, when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to hear some really serious crap.
Yeah,
and right now, we're about at 80 out of that 88 miles an hour.
Yep, I wrote they rides a donkey pulling a race car bed.
Yeah, race car bed going up.
Finds a goofy cartoon-looking town called Cloud City.
Yep, and dude, we're not kidding. Like, there's everything here. There's talking animals. There's more baby angels. There's walking food.
Yeah, there's all kinds of bizarre things. And also, like, there's a thing called the reception committee, which is the three identical triplets start singing a song about greeting him to this Cloud City. And one weird thing that keeps happening, we keep cutting to this weird pinhole POV that's like a dark circle around the whole screen into a very like small visual area. I think maybe it's supposed to be Greg's POV.
Probably.
I'm not sure because he keeps cutting in and out of that weird pinhole looking thing.
Right.
But as the committee keeps singing, we see several other committees that keep singing their sections of the song, greeting him into Cloud City. It's very, very funny.
Okay, which by the way, am I the only one that thinks that this is like the Wizard of Oz and Munchkin Land?
I was thinking
because it's like the first one was like the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah, I was thinking like what is it called? Like Cuphead looking style animation.
Well, yeah, that animation. Yes, I just mean like the whole like we represent the committee.
We're the committee.
We're the other committee, and we're a random three animals. Yeah, we're the third committee.
We're the hippo, giraffe, and something
monkey.
Else. Monkey committee, and it's just like what the hell's happening?
Yeah, it's like why do I feel like this is Munchkin Land?
It's very weird and funny, but then he says, Greg says, are there any other committees? And it cuts to a very creepy bulldog with a rain cloud over it.
Super, we're talking about like that kind of either angry / sad kind of face.
Yeah, very weird, sad, angry face. And not saying anything, just, and then he says, okay, that's enough committees, I guess. And he's like, just cuts away from it. And then Greg begins to lead the band, like, oh, you do your turn.
Yeah, because he even lets them know, he's like, I'm supposed to be a leader, but I don't know how to. They're like, lead the band.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
A long, goofy montage continues of Greg just being like, yay.
More montage of oddity and 20s fun and craziness.
Yeah, it's very silly until Greg gets caught in a tuba, and then the guy, is it a fish playing it?
It was a pig.
Pig? Okay,
yeah, it was a pig
playing it blows, and he gets knocked into the gates of a weird off-limits area that says, do not enter. And he breaks open the gates to the North Wind.
Old North Wind.
First we see three little winds just like dancing out of the area, being mean.
Oh, and by the way, the majority of the dream sequence, I'm just gonna call it, is literally like songs.
Yeah, it's all songs, and it's all like weird 20s animation, very, very bizarre looking.
Yeah. So as Matt said, like there's these three little clouds that are like looking grumpy and gray, and then you see the old North Wind, which is a giant old cloud with like a big old.
It's very cool. Yeah, it's very, very cool. I love this song a lot too.
However, in the real world, we see there's actually a storm with like thunder and lightning.
We see the boys under the tree, and we see like a storm coming and just blowing wind on them. We just see what's the name shivering.
They're shivering.
Wirt shivering. We don't see.
Yeah, Wirt shivering, and apparently there's thunder, there's lightning, and there's snow.
Yeah, it begins to snow a little bit.
Yeah, it begins to snow. Now back to the dream.
Well, before we go back to the dream, I think we see the North Wind, but then we cut to Beatrice closing in on them, saying, Wirt, Greg, where are you guys? Flying, and then she lands on a tree and is spooked by a terrifying looking owl in the shadows.
Right,
but
yeah.
We find out that the tree, and she flies away from the owl, but we find out that she was right near them. She almost could have run into them, but she goes the opposite way. Back in the Cloud City, the North Wind keeps doing his song. Greg and him keep fighting and tumbling all over the area, and it's really, really funny and cute. Eventually, they crash into a house. And Greg manages to catch the Northern Wind in a bottle that says "Old Windbag."
And then immediately after that, everyone's like, "Yay!
Yeah,
yay!"
we did it.
And finally, this city, you get to see the Queen of the Clouds.
Yeah, this weird, beautiful humanoid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, picture like the Blue Fairy from Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Only she's got like birds flying around her head. She's got like a wand that has a bird on it. Yeah. She's wearing like a cloud dress, and she's got wings that kind of look like clouds. It's like she's the Queen of the Clouds.
Yeah, the Queen of the Clouds. Yeah, it's very funny. She says that she can take Greg home, and he says, "Oh, great, I'll go get Wirt." But she says, "No, Wirt is already turning into a Adderwood tree." So, and the beast has taken Wirt, or is going to take Wirt, so you can't. And Greg says, well, if I have a wish, which he's been doing this whole series, which is really, really funny, but it's a really, really sad moment.
Yeah, it really
He says, I know what I'm going to do with my wish. And then we cut to what we presume is the real world.
Well, no, we don't yet, because he brings the queen over to him and whispers something. And she goes, "Are you sure about this?"
Yep.
Greg just nods, and she goes, "Then I'll grant your wish." Cut to the real world, or what we think is.
We cut back to the world where they are under the tree, and Greg's like, "Hey, Ward, are you okay? I found a way home. Don't worry about it." It's a very somber and serious scene.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm sorry for doing all of this. Yeah, don't worry, I'll do it. I'll bring us home." And then as he's walking, and Wirt's half asleep, kind of listening, kind of not.
And Greg says goodbye to him.
Greg says goodbye, and then we hear that very familiar voice.
Yep.
Yes, come with me, child. And he's like, sorry, we have much to do. And Greg's like, "You're gonna send us home after this, right?" He's like,
I think send Greg home after this.
Greg's like, and you're gonna show us the way home, right? And the Beast is like, of course.
Yeah.
Instantly, like after all this happens,
we see we see Wart when the Queen of the Clouds and when they're back in the real world, we see Adderwood branches starting to grow around Wart as he sleeps on the tree, angry and depressed and sad and not paying attention to anything.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, after the Beast literally takes Greg with him, Wirt just instantly wakes up, starts freaking out, wondering where Greg is, and even like at one point he's like, "This is all my fault," kind of thing.
Yeah, he's running on some ice water, and then eventually it breaks,
sinks right in.
As he falls in the ice water, we see a boat save, or something saves him.
Before that, small little thing that I don't know if you noticed, but as he's sinking and it fades to black, it actually looks like a whole bunch of like dark hands are surrounding it.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
And then we hear like a muffled Beatrice, like, "Word, are you okay? Are you okay?" And he thinks he hears Greg as well, but when he looks, it's actually Beatrice. He passes out, and we learn that it was Beatrice who was with the fish, the big
got
fish
him out of the water. Yeah, the fish saved him at the end. Yeah, and that is where the episode ends. And
what are you? Yeah, I was gonna say, that was a lot to take in.
Yeah, it was I love the contrast of the very happy, weird, goofy. Like I immediately didn't trust all the weird Cloud City stuff because I was like, okay, this is too bizarre.
This is too happy.
No, well, yeah, not even happy. It's just too bizarre for like the setting of the world so far. I was like, okay, something's up here. This is weird. And then when it turned out to be like a very, very the darkest setting of all the episodes, I was like, oh, that's really messed up and crazy. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm curious, was the whole thing was the Queen of the Clouds and everything? Was that all the Beast doing that to them, or was that legit just a hallucination?
That was literally That was legitimately. Remember when Greg made that wish?
Yeah.
That was literally them trying to make his wish come true.
Oh, you mean you said I want a dream?
It was all like a dream sequence, quote unquote.
Also, maybe a metaphor for something else that we'll discuss
but at
after
the same time,
episode.
it actually happened.
Yeah.
Because yes, because like Greg said at the end, we find out what his wish is. Because he's like, "I'm sorry I did this, but don't worry." He takes the place of Wirt.
Yeah, but I'm saying, did the Cloud City stuff actually happen or not?
Probably. I mean, it's literally like that moment where it's like, it's a dream, but at the same time, some things actually happen.
Yeah, but also, like, at this point, regarding what we find out in the next couple of episodes, I was figuring out what the Cloud City could be a metaphor for. Like, I was like, okay, is this a weird death metaphor right now? Because he could be going to heaven by dying and going to a Cloud City where everything's happy and silly and goofy. And then at the end, when it's like the Queen of the Clouds says, "Oh, I'll give you a thing and I'll let you, if you stay, they'll let your brother go." I thought, was that the Beast pretending to be the Queen of Clouds, or was that a delusion too? It's all very confusing.
I was going to say, I do know, however, that the Queen of the Clouds is her own character. The Beast had nothing to do with that.
I don't know.
Well, I know you don't, but...
Well, yeah.
But now, here's the biggest question of all. Like, what is going on? How did all of this come to be?
Yeah.
How did our characters even get here in the first place?
In this weird, crazy, fantastical world.
Well... Fortunately for you, good listeners, Episode 9 takes care of this for you.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 9 Into the Unknown.
Bum, bum, bum.
We actually start, which, by the way, this is actually one of my favorite episodes of all time. And you'll understand why, because we start off with Wirt, not dressed up, sitting in his bed in his room.
Yeah, I was like, he's wearing. We open on regular clothes, Wirt in a regular-looking, normal, modernish room.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course
with a battle space pillow.
Yeah, battle space pillow and stuff like that, and a clarinet on his bed as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's pacing around. He's thinking. He's looking at this like cassette player. Like we're talking like 80s kind of cassette player with like the big old buttons and stuff. Yeah. And he's like thinking. He's thinking. He takes out a cassette that says "For Sarah," takes out like the ribbon and throws it to the wall. Yep. Upset. But after a little bit of time, he kind of sighs, picks up the tape again, fixes it, gets like this. It takes a Santa Claus hat, takes the stuffing off from around it, and takes the white ball off, puts it on as his hat.
Yep.
Goes up to like an attic or something, gets like an old colonial like jacket and stuff, and puts it on as if it were like a cloak or something. And he's just like steady. He's such a dork because he's like standing in front of a mirror with a fan blowing on him. Like, make it look yes. Cool. So as all of that happens, he leaves his house and starts heading to what sounds like a football game.
We see it's night, and we see a number of pumpkins outside of his house,
and we also see Halloween decorations.
Yeah, that's what I was vaguely going to.
It's like in this scene when he walks out, you can tell it's heavily Halloween.
Yeah.
And of course. He goes out and starts starts watching the football game. Specifically, a mascot of a bumblebee dancing around, and Greg at this point.
Well, I was gonna say before that he says, "Into the unknown."
Oh, yep.
As he
into the unknown as he like starts bravely walking to the. But then as he's watching the mascot do a little dance or something, Greg leaves some lady's house and she's like, "Thanks, old lady. I'll be sure to do all that." And she's like, "Don't call me old lady." Yeah, and walks over the Wirt and says, "Hey,
I believe you missed a joke." When she said, "Don't call me old lady, it's rude." He says, "Okay, young man."
Oh, yeah. She's like, "Yes, sir, young man."
Or is it young man or young boy? I think, but yeah.
But either way, yeah, you're right.
An amazingly
I did gloss over that.
Really funny joke from Greg.
Yeah, and as this happens, Greg lets Wirt know, "Hey, I was over at her place working for candy."
Yeah, in exchange for candy.
It's Halloween. You get free candy. And of course, Greg's like, "So are we gonna hunt frogs?" And he's like,
obviously the old woman says, like, nothing in life is free.
Yeah, that's right. He said, she believes nothing in life is free.
That's hilarious.
Then he brings up wanting to hunt frogs, and Wirt's like, "Not now. I'm busy."
Yep, and this is when I forget what he says. Do you have the thing down? But this is when he reveals the rock that he took from her yard.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Because Wirt explains what he's gonna do. And, no, I didn't write it down. I just know that he has the rock fact.
Yeah, he has rock, and we also see the pants candy, because he shows him the candy that he got from the work, stuck to his pants from the episode 1. Greg, we see, he tells his little brother about the tape he made for Sarah, and we see For Sarah on the tape. I don't know if you saw that earlier.
Yeah, we did. When he first pulled it out.
Yeah, when he first pulled it out, yeah. And Greg says, "I'll give it to her." He takes the tape, but Wirt's too scared to give it to her.
He's like, "No, wait, don't." And it's funny.
Yeah, we find out finally that Greg is just like an elephant.
Yeah, I was just actually getting there because Greg walks over and there's like 3, I guess, classmates of Wirt's maybe. They're like, "Oh, what are you supposed to be?" He's like, "I'm an elephant." Makes the sound, and then the kids just instantly went to, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Hey, but guess what? The weird kettle on the head being an elephant, still better than that one lady who was just like an egg.
The egg was great. Also, I think, was that egg, the egg girl, was that Ashley Birch?
I don't know.
I think it was. It sounded like her.
It sounded
very minor role, but I'm pretty sure it might have been Ashley Birch. Not gonna look it up, but who knows?
Yeah, right. But then, of course, Greg explains, "Hey, I have this tape, and I'm gonna give it to Sarah." And high school hijinks ensue, like, "Ooh, Wirt like Sarah.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah.
And Wirt finally says, like, no, it's not like that. They tell Wirt, you better hurry up because they're going...
because...
Sarah's going to a party afterwards, and Jason Funderburger is going to ask her out.
Funderburger.
Funderburger, that's what I said.
You said burger.
No, Funderburger.
Like a food.
Funderburger.
Anyway, that's not important. But what is important is that Jason Funderburger is going to ask Sarah out at the Halloween party.
Yep, and...
Wirt is like, oh no.
Embarrassed, he runs away and leaves with Greg, but forgetting the tape.
Forgetting the tape, but he doesn't realize this because, he's like... Greg's like, dude, why don't you just ask Sarah out first?
Yeah.
He's like, no, we can't do that. I can't do that. And oh no, the tape is missing.
Yep, the tape of him playing the clarinet and reciting poetry.
Yep, that's what we find out. We find out it has clarinet and poetry, Greg. Clarinet and poetry.
I'm like,
so he runs to get the tape. But he finds those same 3 classmates who apparently didn't move from that spot.
Yeah, it's been like 5 seconds, I'm sure.
Well, no, because remember, the
football
game was happening.
Yeah.
The football game's ended at this point now.
They go up to them and they find out that they put the tape in Sarah's coat for him, which is very nice, I'd say, but still embarrassing.
But I mean, if you're going to be shy like Wirt is, Wirt lets Fear take the hold of him, and so he goes over to the jacket because apparently she's changing in the shack. Like, out of her mascot outfit and whatever. And he goes over to try and, get the tape back.
Yeah, this was hilarious.
This big old, football player kind of guy is like, hey, are you trying to spy on me?
Yeah,
and he's like,
was hilarious.
no, Greg, let's cheese it.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Immediately after they run away, we don't actually see her face, because she's actually, dressed up like an undead kind of clown.
Yeah, she's like her face painted like a skeleton.
And then of course, she walks out, which we can assume is Sarah, because the big football guy's like, "Hey Sarah, watch out tonight.
Yeah,
there's
some
creeps. Real creeps out there."
Yeah, and she says thanks. He calls him Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy.
Yep.
And then she rides her bike away
with the tape.
Yep, with the tape still in her jacket.
Yep, and of course, so the boys give chase and they decide to follow her to the house party.
Well, Wirt is like, I can't go in. I wasn't invited. Greg goes, I'll go in. He goes, no, you can't because you were not invited either.
Yeah.
And Greg's like,
okay.
Walks on in and just talks. And it's funny because Wirt goes in and is like, hey, just was, everyone seemed pretty cool with him. They're just like,
I was saying,
hey, how's it going,
Greg
dude?
went in there and he was talking to the people, and that's what words about.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, they're gonna do something. They're gonna embarrass me. And chill.
And also, Greg points out the window and points at Wirt, and he's just like goes in, and then everyone's like pretty cool about this.
Yeah,
he's
like, hey, what's up, Wirt? Yeah,
dude?
everyone's pretty normal. And
everyone's like okay with this, but Wirt's like, yeah, I'm just starts walking away and bumps into Sarah, and Sarah's like, hi, Wirt, so we're gonna go. Sorry, I have this in my notes.
Yeah, but
we're gonna go to.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go to the graveyard, and of course, Wirt's like, wait, the graveyard? She goes, yeah, like you guys are gonna do something there or whatever, and she goes, nah, we're just gonna hang out and have age appropriate drinks.
And he's like apple juice and stuff. Like, yeah, everything age appropriate, nothing illegal.
Age appropriate,
nothing illegal.
I thought that was hilarious that she pointed this out.
I was about to say they she suspiciously keeps asserting that they're going to be drinking age-appropriate beverages, which I'm like, okay, right now my mind's like, okay, is this like him telling a story to someone and they're just believing on the part where they're blatantly doing alcohol? Because that's what it sounds like. They're doing alcohol.
Yeah, but honestly, knowing the group of kids that go there, I bet you it actually is age-appropriate.
Yeah, and I was about to say, that was hilarious, the whole wording of that. But then, of course, we finally meet the Jason that Wirt is so nervous about.
Oh, the good old...
Sarah. He's
dude.
Great.
Oh,
I love this character.
Jason.
I absolutely love the character.
Jason Funderburger. He's just a regular kid in like a green kind of good looking shirt and stuff like that. And hey, Sarah.
I love that character. That was hilarious.
Are you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Wirt.
Yeah, I love that he's such a weirdo. That we're so nervous about this guy. And he's such a freaking weirdo. Right. I loved that. That was hilarious.
But anyway, Sarah is like, hey, if you, because Wirt's like, no, I'm not gonna go. You have fun with Jason. And Sarah seems sad about this, and she's like, okay, but if you want to come over, don't hesitate to. As if she's like alluding, please come, Wirt.
Yeah, but then she leaves and takes her jacket with her.
Oh yeah, because Wirt's like, oh yeah, the tape. Goes to the jacket, and then immediately Sarah's like, oh, my jacket, thanks. And then leaves with it, and Wirt's just like, oh no, no. But yeah, after this, we actually cut to the graveyard where Jason, Sarah, and just a bunch of other weirdos.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's like an 80s film, and they're like the geeks. So.
Yeah, they're just chilling out, hanging out.
They're just hanging out in the graveyard. And honestly, like me personally, no sarcasm with this. That's perfectly fine. I actually like that. It's just a bunch of like, geeks and stuff doing this.
I would say, they look pretty normal. But yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. It's also a common thing for people to just hang out in the graveyard during Halloween for stuff. But
and of course, you thought Wirt was awkward. Jason frickin' Thunderburker is worse at being awkward. Is better at being awkward.
I was gonna say we introduced to them while Jason is telling the story of an axe man. A person with an axe raising it above his head.
You're jumping, dude.
Oh no, they said that before anything else.
Just hold on.
Before he reaches for her hand, he says that.
Just hold on first, because they're walking in, and first, Jason Thunderburker tries to do hey Sarah, do you believe in ghosts? Because there's one behind you. And Sarah has this look like, dude, I know we're a bunch of geeks, but dude, no, just no. Wirt and Greg come in, and they see them telling ghost stories.
Yeah, but importantly, also, the headstone that they're leaning on, did you see?
Which one?
The headstone that Wirt and Greg are behind. Do you read what it says? Yeah, I'm asking you if you know what it says.
What does it say?
Okay, it says Quincy Endicott on it, which is the name of the guy from the earlier episode, as Jason's telling a story about an Axeman, which is also related to what they've been seeing so far.
Oh, we actually forgot before we get to the graveyard. There's a police officer sitting at on the street, and there's like these two kids dressed up as burglars. Hey there, you two. You both are under arrest.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Happy Halloween. As Wirt and Greg are running to the house.
Run across the street.
Don't run on the street. I'm just kidding. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. I forgot to point that character.
But character. You're fine. I actually forgot
that
too. Anyway, that's when the story.
Yeah, he's telling the story about the Axeman. He tries to grab, or not grab, he tries to put his hand on her hand. She's just like, no, don't do that. And then, like,
pretty much.
The other girl's like, hey, you can put it on my hand. I don't care.
And closer. You can let go of my hand now. You can hold my hand. I don't care.
Yeah, it was really funny. But then, finally, Wirt and Greg are spying on them. Greg, as usual, just runs out and introduces himself.
Well, no. In this case, Greg's like, I have a plan. I can act like a dead elephant while they're distracted, you can get the tape. And Wirt's like, that's a stupid idea. Sees the whole Jason trying to hold the hand thing and goes, do it. Yeah,
it was very funny. And then Greg's just like, ooh, I'm an elephant.
I'm an elephant.
Like, hey, isn't that Wirt's brother?
Yeah, but where's Wirt? Over there. And then, of course, they're all pretty okay with him joining him. Yeah. But Wirt is just too darn afraid.
Yeah, he's a very, very panicked and anxious character. It's very, very interesting to finally see, like, why he's like the way he is. That's very cool.
Right, yeah. And then, of course, as all of this is happening... Oh, by the way, there's a joke that comes up later. When they find the group sitting in a circle. Hey, look, it's a witch's circle.
Oh yeah, it's just a kind of witch's circle. Yeah, the cop comes up and says, "Hey, what's this witch's circle doing here?"
But it's funny because after Wirt gets caught and everything becomes awkward. A policeman pulls up and goes, "Hey, what is this? Some kind of witch's circle?
Yep.
You are all under arrest." Everyone starts running away. Like, all the kids start running. He's like, wait a minute. I was just kidding. Don't run. You might trip.
Yeah, it was very funny.
And of course, Wirt and Greg are running, and they get to they run, and they get to a wall.
Yep.
And then, as they see the wall, the police officer is, going up and like, this is private property. You shouldn't be here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They both start climbing the tree. And as they're climbing the tree, Wirt sees Sarah and Jason talking alone, and Sarah finally pulls out the tape and says, what's with this tape? And
Yeah.
Jason's like, let's listen
we
to
should
it.
listen to it.
You're her.
It's
Oh
so
wait, no,
funny.
he's not even that cool.
No,
he
he's
doesn't
like,
get that. He's like,
let's listen to the tape. And,
of course,
while they're still climbing the wall, the cop's like, hey, get down from the wall, you can fall and hurt yourself.
Yeah, and of course, well, we're seeing the whole, thing. He is just 110% crushed, destroyed, done.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was worried about. And
and then, of course, he and Greg jump off, not like, oh no, they tripped and fell. No, they actually jump off the other and land
safely.
on the other side safely.
Yep.
And this is where we learn just something weird, because Wirt is upset that everything went wrong, and he just takes it out on Greg.
Yeah,
this is
not just
you
Greg.
and your dad.
Yeah.
This is you and your dad's fault. I mean, you guys are always pushing me to go to be in the band and all that stuff, and even Greg's like, yeah, if you're in the band, you'll be closer to Sarah. And he's just like, that ship has already passed. He just blames everything on Greg.
Yeah, it's a very, very sad, but really telling scene about his whole personality and everything. It's very cool to see him finally burst out like that.
And then we hear something that I know you've wanted to say for the longest time.
Yeah, I forgot
now
to
we'll
point
be
it
able
out.
to say this.
We forgot to point it out earlier. Yeah.
We hear a choo-choo train coming on.
Choo-choo train?
Yeah, you heard me. Choo-choo train.
Oh, God.
We hear a train coming on by, and Wirt and Greg are just like, uh-oh, and they jump off on time. They don't die, obviously.
Well, we don't see. We see the train. We see them say, "Oh no!" It cuts, and then I think the song starts.
Yeah, and then Black Train, the Black Train song starts being sung.
Yeah.
And
it keeps cutting in and out, so we don't see it. But but then we see them rolling down the hill safe.
Yeah, rolling down the hill safe. But then they land in the water.
Yep.
And then they start floating in the water.
Yep.
And then as that's happening, as that's whole thing, it kind of fades out.
They're not floating in the water; they're sinking in the water.
Yeah, that's what I was getting there. They start sinking in the water, and that when the song ends, it goes to fade to black.
Yep.
Then we cut to Wirt waking up with a whole bunch of freaking birds around him.
A bunch of bluebirds.
Yeah, a bunch of bluebirds. And one of them, a motherly one, goes, "Oh, you're awake. Here," gets a spoonful of dirt and goes, "Here, eat some dirt."
Yep.
And of course, Wirt's like, "What in the world? What's going on? Beatrice, is that you?" And the one who spoon-fed the dirt was like, "Wait, you know my daughter? What's going on? What is this?" Hey, spoilers, because I just said it. It's her family.
Yep. Also, the frog is with him here.
Yeah, and the frog is with him too. She's like, and the mother bird, is I'll just call her because she sounds like a motherly type. Is like, someone just left you and that frog in here, and we decided to keep you warm and stuff. Here,
warm and stuff.
Yeah, I'm summarizing.
Yeah.
And then Wirt's like, I have to find my brother. She goes, wait at least until the storm's done. And you look outside, and there's an actual snowstorm happening right now. And Wirt's like, I can't. He's like, no, please stay. Here, eat more dirt. And Wirt legitimately takes the spoon, eats it, and goes, thank you, and leaves with the new frog.
With the
frog.
They go into the snowstorm. Yep.
Yep, and Wirt and the frog, as they leave, looking for Greg, all the while just fades out to white, and that is the end of episode 9. Wow.
Yep.
First off...
Oh, we also see the mother says to give Bay a hug.
Oh, yeah, yes. Give Bea a hug.
Bay. Whatever. Beatrice.
Give Beatrice a hug if they find her.
Yep, very sad, but very telling note. Yeah, that was the end of that episode. Very good episode.
Before we point out the things that we want to point out, Matt.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I was mildly surprised that I was thinking this is potentially what was going on for a while. I was like, what is the deal with this weird world and these weird kids? There's some occasional modern-ish dialogue. I was assuming that they were from a normal place, more so akin to the time that they keep showing, like the 1800s or the 1900s or whatever, because they keep showing like aesthetics and stuff from that time period. But I was very surprised that it was very cool, and it was just a really cool revelation for what it was taking place. And I like the whole getting more into the actual character of Wirt and why he's acts the way he does and how he acts normally in the real world. He still acts the exact same way, but just as a very anxious person with obviously a lot of anxiety and depression and all kinds of weird stuff he's dealing with. It was very, very cool to see that. And also, I was assuming that they were more likely, I thought that potentially, after the last episode, that Greg had died from the train thing or something like that, because of, the weird heaven episode from the Cloud City, which I assumed was going on with that.
And with the whole train thing.
Yeah, the train.
You could have thought that both of them were.
Like we didn't point out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the intro, there's after the first time you see the long intro, the short intro is just the title card with the music playing, and then you hear a very subtle low train noise throughout the entire series. Yep. Yeah, we had no idea what the case was.
Every single episode, it's you hear you see except for the first one obviously because it's like the introduction. You see you see the title card, you hear the theme music play, and you just very subtly sometimes you have to actually try and listen for it, but there is a distinct whistle train whistle. The other thing is now we know. When the narrator was talking about the unknown at the very first episode, we saw the silhouette of people floating in water.
Yep.
Gee, it's like we figured it out.
Finally, mystery solved.
But here's the other issue though. You say mystery solved.
Well,
it's not solved yet.
It's not resolved yet.
we need to learn if they ever are going to go home or not.
Oh yeah. Okay, so exactly episode 10, the unknown.
Now, you said that the school marm one and everything, that was your favorite, one of your favorite episodes and stuff.
Yep.
This is my all-time favorite one because, as you may all know, this is the last episode of this episode and of our little special.
Yep, final episode.
This conclusion made me happy, and we'll get to that right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say while watching the final episode and hearing the train noise again, I was just like, oof, now it makes me upset. Yeah. We see, once again, Bae, aka Beatrice, flying over the forests. She sees Greg with the beast, but the storm stops her.
Yep, the storm stops her, and she doesn't know it's the beast. She just sees him with someone. But
do we see the shape of the beast, or did
no. It is the shape of the beast.
Yeah.
It's just we know it's the beast. She doesn't.
Yeah, she never really addresses the beast the whole time she's doing all this stuff.
I don't think she's ever seen the beast.
Yeah, I don't think it's really associated.
Actually, technically. Greg is literally the first one of the group to see the beast.
Yeah. We see Greg bringing a bunch of items to the beast. We see a silver thread and...
a silver thread and a golden comb.
Golden comb, yep. He brings a honeycomb and some spider web, which is very funny.
And then the beast asks to do a third impossible task.
Yep.
Catch the sun in a cup.
Yep, in a china cup. Greg, very intelligently and very hilariously, walks over to a stump and puts it on there. And from the perspective, it looks like when the sun sets, it's going to land inside of the cup. It's very, very funny. He says, I know what I'm doing. And
of course, the beast is like, you are clever, aren't you?
He says, I never give up, as he says. It's very heroic, but still sad what's happening. The beast tells him to sit in the cold and wait while this happens, and it's very bizarre. Mm-hmm. Beatrice finally just smacks right into Wirt after looking for him for all this time and tells him that she saw Greg. And they finally just head off together, finally back together. We see the woodsman.
Yep, we see the woodsman.
Yep, burning Edelwood for oil.
Well, looking for more Edelwood, he finds 2 sticks and he's like,
thank goodness.
Yay, great. He goes
the 2 from
to
the first
grind
episode that fell when he was cooking oil earlier. Yep.
Right, and he goes to grind it, and they don't even give him a drop of oil.
Yep.
And as he's lamenting this,
we
cut to one of my favorite scenes in this entire thing. We hear this. We hear the beast singing one of my all-time favorite song in this entire thing, "Come Wayward Souls."
Yeah.
And of course, the woodsman is following this, and oh my goodness, it's just beautiful. Remember how I told you the voice actor is an opera singer? This is where it shines.
Yeah.
Because the beast's voice is so deep, it's so robust, it's so even just everything about it. Mm-hmm. And the woodsman goes and finds the beast waving his hands over something as he's singing, and then he looks and he's like, Woodsmith, I knew you would come.
Woodsmith.
Sorry. Woodsman, Woodsmith, potato, tomato. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, Woodsman, you've come. Look, I found some more Edelwood for you.
Yep, it's Greg with the vines growing around him like they were earlier. The beast says that he has taken souls for years.
When the woodsman found this out, he's like, "Wow."
Oh yeah, he's like,
I'm not doing this anymore. And the beast is like, "You've been doing this literally for years now."
Yeah, and he says, "I didn't know that there were people that I was burning." And he said, "Well, do you want your daughter to live or not?"
Does that matter? Do you want your daughter to be saved? And then a very interesting detail.
Yeah, he puts the lantern.
He looks at the. It shows the beast looking at the woodsman, saying, "Feed the lantern," and his eyes. His eyes are the same blue-yellow, like the wolf at the very beginning.
And the gorilla for a second.
Yeah, and the gorilla was a costume.
Yeah.
It's the same eye layout as that wolf from the very first episode.
Yep, it's very weird. And then he puts down the lantern to free Greg, and we see the beast's hand begin to reach for the lantern as it's of course taken away.
Yeah, and of course the woodsman stops him, and of course the beast is all, "I'm trying to help you here."
Yeah.
And of course, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help your daughter. Which, by the way, every time the beast mentions the daughter, this time the woodsman gets super angry.
Yeah,
and at this point he starts actually trying to attack
with the axe finally, and then this is when it cuts away to Wirt and Beatrice. Finally, I'm trying not to say Bay every time I see my notes. They keep searching and they come across the lantern, but they see like the entire area has been like ripped and torn and tossed around. They also find Greg before it's too late.
Yep, they find Greg, and as they're talking to Greg, Greg's like, "It's my fault. It's my fault." And and Wirt's like, "No, it's my fault." And Greg's like, "No." And this is where we finally reveal what happened.
The darkest secret of the series.
Oh, come on now.
Yes, it's this is unforgivably depressing.
We find out that the rock was
stolen from that woman's house. And we also find out that the frog's name is Jason Funderburger.
Yep. Wirt goes, "Yeah, but we need to go home. Who's gonna help me take care of Jason Funderburger?"
Yeah,
and even Greg says the perfect name.
Yep.
And as all of this emotional sweetness is happening, they're trying. Beatrice and Wirt are trying to free him. You see the woodsman just fall
we see
over.
him just collapse right in front of them as seemingly the beast has defeated him.
Yep, and the exact next quote of the beast, he just looks and sees the kids and says, "Give me my lantern." And Wirt's like, "I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?" And Beatrice is like, "No, we gotta, free Greg. He needs to get out. We need to get him home." And the beast is like, "He's too weak to move.
Yeah,
you can't do anything about it." And Wirt's like, "I need to do this." Then
That's
perhaps
when the beast finally gives his offer to Wirt. He will store Greg's soul in the lantern, and in exchange he will burn Edelwood.
Yep.
As
just
the old man had, the woodsman.
And the woodsman's waking up at this point.
Yep.
And of course Wirt goes over to the beast,
seemingly agreeing to the beast
with the lantern. But then you hear a subtle bell tone, and Wirt just snaps and goes, "Wait a minute, that's
stupid."
Dumb."
Yeah.
And the beast is like, "Excuse me." It's like, "That's dumb. Why would I care about this stupid lantern? You don't want to." He's like, "I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you save your brother." And he's like, "No, you're not. You're trying to keep this lantern on."
Yeah. It's like it's your flame in here or something.
You don't want to save you don't want to save my brother's soul. It's like it's your soul.
Yep.
And then of course darkness.
The beast begins to surround him in darkness, and it's where it just seems very bravely looking at him. And then Wirt, in a very cool move, just lifts the lantern and is getting ready to blow it out as the beast freaks out for a second.
He's like, "No, don't do it."
And he's just like, "Oh, okay." And while he's just exposed him, Wirt gives the lantern. I keep saying Wirt. Wirt gives the lantern to the woodsman and says, "Here, now that the woodsman knows that his daughter's soul is not inside the lantern."
Right? He's like, "Here, I've got my own problems to worry about.
Yep.
This one is yours." Kind of like a callback to the very first episode, you know.
And we see the boys finally together again. Greg is freed from the Edelwood branches. As they tell Bay to follow them, she says she cannot because she still needs to figure out the curse situation. Wirt finally reveals that he took the bird scissors from Adelaide. Yeah, it's the whole time. Like, "You've had this the whole time." He's like, "Yeah, I was keeping them just in case." And also,
I was keeping them, and I was mad at you.
Yeah, I was a little mad at you for that whole betraying thing. You betray me. Everybody betrays him.
And all the while, as this is happening, the beast is over to the woodsman, who now knows his daughter is not in the lantern. He's like, "Now listen, those two over there, they're about to go away. We need them. chop them up. He like legitimately
Yeah.
just tells them to kill them. And another one of the coolest scenes ever.
Yeah.
The woodsman turns around with the lantern, and for the briefest of seconds,
you have to literally freeze frame
you
it to see what it actually looks like.
You get to see what the beast actually looks like.
Yeah.
He's literally
He's a weird, fleshy,
antlered.
Yeah.
No, it's not fleshy.
Yeah.
He's an Edelwood.
No, he looks like his skin is like skin colored. The
yeah,
weird
it's that's the same. That's the same color as the Edelwood.
The Edelwood
trees.
is reddish. I would say the people. It's a
When you
shape made of a bunch of faces. Like the one looks like it's crying. Do you actually do you freeze it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he's literally his entire body is like an Edelwood tree, only with a lot more faces.
I would say they just we'll argue forever about this. We have no idea about the actual design.
We can, but
yeah, like I think it looks like he thinks it looks like Edelwood. I say it looks like a fleshy flesh, but like it's a number of faces in a weird humanoid structure and with his weird glowing hollow looking face, and it's very bizarre and terrifying looking, but you only first see it for a second as the woodsman brings the lantern up to himself and
the beast
as the
tries
screams
like
and
his
yells,
last the beast tries one more attempt by saying, are you ready to face that home by yourself? She's never gonna come back. And the woodsman blows out the lantern as you hear one final roar from the beast.
Yeah, and as the darkness there, we cut back to Wirt and the gang as he finally says goodbye to Bay and goodbye to the unknown as they awaken in the lake.
Yep, and Wirt wakes up first, goes down, saves Greg, and
the frog.
and they get out of the water where ambulances they
get out of the water. The kids are coming down from the hill, and then they go, word, what's going on? And then he says, help, and he collapses. We cut to them in an ambulance car being driven to the hospital because they obviously just almost drowned from the lake.
Right.
It's a very, very cool, dramatic scene.
And then we see Wirt wake up, in his point of view, wake up in the hospital with Sarah there saying, Wirt, are you okay?
Yep.
And then, first thing Wirt is like, where am I? She's like, you're at the hospital.
Yeah,
then he's like, where's Greg?
Yeah, and Greg's there telling the story about
everything that they did or maybe didn't do.
Who knows?
And of course, when he mentions Jason Funderburker, because he's like, oh, Jason Funderburker, you were there too. The real Jason is there was like, at the hospital. You mean me? He's like, no, silly. This is Jason Funderburker.
Yeah.
And so Sarah's like, hey, Wirt, about this tape. I don't have a means of playing it.
Yeah, who the hell is a tape player this time?
So maybe I thought that, and before she even finished it,
he's like, let's listen to it.
Okay, Wirt's like, we're going to my house and listen to it.
Or listen to something else.
I mean, we can listen to something else building up to it and, like, kind of cute.
Yeah.
Like I said, was that adventure real or was it fake?
Well,
because as Greg is swinging his frog around, it's glowing.
Yeah, but then this is the thing we're gonna have to discuss after this. The narrator, it's the narrator from the beginning, correct?
Yep.
It's very weird. It's a very like rushed and lackluster version of what he was saying. And everything was fine, everything was great, and everyone was happy, and that's how it ends because it always ends happy. It's very bizarre. It made me think of a series of unfortunate events or something like that, where. Then over that we see the montage of
as I say, I actually do have the quote he says.
Oh yeah.
It kind of does for a moment. It does feel like it is. But he's like, and so the story is complete, and everyone is satisfied with the ending, and so on and so forth. And yet, over the garden wall, then you get the reprise of Into the Unknown.
Yep, and a montage of more images from the beginning. The images similar from the ones in the beginning, but we actually get more context.
Different. Like the first one you see is the woodsman sitting at a house by himself in the snow.
Yep.
When all of a sudden you hear a door open and you just see the same girl from the very beginning. She's just, Papa? And they both look at each other and, she's crying, she's happy, they're both happy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see the fish in the boat.
Catching
a black turtle.
Yep.
And then
let's see. I have the was it reverse?
Next was Lorna.
Lorna sitting with Auntie Whispers.
Yep, and they're enjoying tea and enjoying it. And then of course after that, the frogs are coming out of the mud.
We see one poke its head out of it and it breathes a little fog and then it goes back in because winter's not over yet.
Yep. And then of course we see Marguerite from Endicott.
Yep.
She's staring at a portrait of Endicott with Fred the horse.
Yeah.
And then, after that, we see the toy maker putting down toys, and there's 4 new toys.
Yep,
there's Beatrice, Greg, Jason Frog, as I call him now, and Wirt. Then we see the circus again.
Yeah, we see
this time
Jimmy and the Mrs. What's her name?
Miss Langtree
in the audience watching the performance.
with all the animal children as well.
Yeah, they're all at the circus together. That's a very funny, cute scene.
And then we see that the harvest party is over. We see actually skeletons dressed up, just laying down whatever. And out of Enoch's head, we see
the black cat. Hey. And this is when we see the rock after that.
No.
After that
we see just the girl from the very first episode with the dog. She and the dog are looking out the window, and you hear a lady say, "Honey, eat your dirt."
Yeah,
and then you find out it's Beatrice and her family, because she's like, "Mom, stop calling it that." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Turn us into birds again?"
Yeah.
Now eat your dirt.
Yeah,
and she's happy about this.
Yeah, it's all cute. And then
after that, we see the narrator Jason Frog singing the last words at his piano, and the piano fades away. Then we see Greg returning the rock.
Yeah.
And that's how the series is where it ends. That is where it all
ends. A great miniseries. Yep. Now, we need to discuss what actually happened, what didn't. Yeah, what happened and what didn't, because it's very bizarre, because the scene with Beatrice and her family, the way the mom said he could turn us into birds again and everyone was there and it was a pretty normal, did that actually happen? Or was she referring to it as if it didn't, and that was just a story that Beatrice was telling or something?
I'm gonna say that it really happened, because what the mom says is, "What are you gonna do? Turn us into bluebirds again?"
Yeah, but she could have been saying that in a facetious way, saying "Oh, that story." She said it in a way that it was impossible for that to happen at all. And I that's why I pictured it. But also, like I said, going back to the narrator saying about okay, everything was great and everything happened, that made me think that the ending wasn't canon and it presumably did actually die in the water, because it was so I don't know, are you familiar with you've watched Invader Zim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember the episode with Higgins and the game Slave 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the way that ended with him seemingly dying, and at the end just woo, Higgins, as he flies out of it like a big giant Super Saiyan ball.
Yeah.
It's they have mandates to not have things be too super depressing and stuff for most of these mainstream airing shows. I feel that really just the really quick VO that was seemingly also felt a little facetious or sarcastic was along with the beverages scene from earlier, which felt really funny. I think that it's implying that it wasn't a happy ending, something bad did happen, and then going through all of the second parts of the adventures, or the second parts of the intro clips was showing oh yeah, everything was weird and happy, and all the weird scenes you saw earlier explained.
The way I see it is that it did actually have everything did happen, and the reason why I think it's the narrator letting everyone know that because a lot of people would think everything that just happened was kind of like a near death kind of dream / coma kind of
that's what
moment,
that's
a
lucid
classic, dreaming kind
that's
of
a classic thing what if I was a coma the whole time?
However, with Greg swinging the frog and the bell is
so it actually
the narrator is literally letting us know yes, they had a happy ending, but just so you know, everything they went through also happened, letting them know that the unknown actually did happen, and just bringing close, because it's yes, these guys, this is their closure, they lived happily ever after. Let's see what this is what happened. This is the other closures that are happening. This is everyone else's happy ending, because and of course they had to tie in with the very first episode where everything was oh no, and then at the very end it's everything's getting resolved.
Yeah, we'll never know unless we looked it up at any point, but we're not going to do that. But I really enjoyed the series. I really love the tone. I love the storytelling method of all the episodic adventure-ness of it. It was really fun, and I really loved the series.
I am extremely happy that you enjoyed the series, because like I said, when I introduce someone to something, I always worry, because I like different things than you or our buddy Ed.
Yeah.
like a lot of different things. Especially like Ed and I have a lot of things we don't like.
Yeah.
So I kind of have this mentality that, you know, if I introduce someone to something else, they're just gonna freaking hate it.
Yeah.
So when I brought it up to you the first time, saying we should do something like this for like Halloween or something like that, you story time, little kids or adults. He texted me about doing this 2-parter immediately as I was going to text him saying, hey, why don't we do this 2-parter?
Yeah.
It was beautifully timed. And now hearing all of your thoughts, hearing all of like everything, I'm excited now because I got someone else into someone that I liked and it was really good. And this is one of those series, as you pointed out, going back to the beginning and pointing out all the different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like now you know, after everything that happened in all the episodes, you watch that opening sequence of the first episode, and you're like, oh, that's Beatrice and the dog who became the wolf, and you see the bird come out of the bushes. You're like, that's the bird she stoned.
She's gonna hit. Yeah, but also like going back to now we're gonna like start this whole discussion all over again. Going back to the real world stuff with me presuming this also just had a worse ending. The tombstone with Endicott on it. The Sarah being dressed as a skeleton woman or whatever the fuck she was. But then also the thing with Lorna. She she looked almost exactly like what Sarah was dressed as in the thing. So I'm saying like you think that you think that things actually happened in the world, but also what about all the clues? Like the people were dressed as things that he saw in the side of the unknown as well.
Oh,
so
and you talked about like the axe swinger and stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned the axe swinger there on. Yeah, it's like,
here's my thought, my theory on this.
Yeah,
is when they fell into the lake, you know, they were there for quite a while. Yeah. So either they were like having like a kind of a dream sequence or something, or they were probably in a mini coma. Let's be honest, because they were there for quite some time.
Well, I'm pretty sure a little bit past, but yeah.
However, all of the stuff that they were associated in the real world melded into the dreamscape world, where kind of like in I don't know how comas work. I'm not a doctor, but I've seen like a few.
I'm gonna say you could probably fall from like 1,000 different media sources.
Well, because there's a movie that I enjoy called Imaginarium. Yes, it's also a record or a CD that Nightwish has done, but it's also based off of a movie that Nightwish had done, where someone goes through the entire movie is them in a coma, and there's a lot of things that reflect the real world and this dreamscape.
Yeah, it's a classic trope and stuff. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So that's my thoughts on all of it. Is the reason why, like, you know, it's like, oh, this is what they're going through in the unknown. Mm-hmm. We learn how they got into the unknown, quote unquote, and we see all those things like the Endicott grave and stuff like that. So it's literally like the dreamscape is literally trying to mesh what they've already known in their mind.
Yeah, I understand. It's very bizarre. It's to be argued. I guess is the point of the series. Like,
right? Yeah. There's a whole lot of theories. There's also a theory I could go into, but we're running into.
We're pretty much the exact same as the first episode. That's pretty good.
True. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like we're running to the end of time.
Oh
end of the time, but.
Wait, that's what listen to podcasts for to hear the discussions between people about junk.
Right? Yeah. And honestly,
but we're probably gonna argue about this for a long time. Or also,
we
bring other
definitely
friends
will.
who have seen the series. Yeah, I loved it. It was excellent.
But also, now that you've seen all of this, just like with Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, there are comics for Over the Garden Wall. A lot of things that did not get explained, like the horse at the tavern. And like how he was really okay with stealing even though they didn't know much about him.
Yeah.
Why the woodsman's daughter was in the house the whole time, and like other things like that, other little things.
Yeah.
There are comics that actually fill in those gaps, and you can actually learn like how like different origins of different things and like how things happen and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which I haven't been able to find. I haven't been able to find them like at a bookstore or anything like that. But if you do find them, really give them a read. They are fascinating. And to all of you out there, this series, honestly, you just heard two guys literally nerd out about this amazing series.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't seen it, please go do whatever you can, do what you must, find it, watch it. It's especially in the autumn time. It doesn't have to be Halloween. I mean, yeah, there are some themes of Halloween, but it's perfect for the autumn time. Just it's really amazing. It's really deep. It's surprisingly deep, and it's short. It's 10, 15, like half episode long episodes. So technically it's like 5 regular episodes.
I would say in the whole, I think it's about, what, like 2 hours?
Something like that.
It's 11 times
It's like
10.
It's like 11
an hour 50.
Yeah, it's like it's like 2.5 hours because it's like 5 full episodes.
Yeah.
But also, if you also want to be interested, we didn't cover this episode because we wanted to cover 10 episodes, not 11. Mm-hmm. But technically, all of this that we did was the final product. There was a pilot before all of this called The Tome of the Unknown that was like the creators giving this idea to Cartoon Network. The pilot that they gave them is an actual thing you can watch as well.
Yeah.
And just to get an idea of how this idea originated, kind of thing. It's just an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah, I'm gonna check out those comics as soon as I find them. I'll hopefully post some kind of link if I can find something in the actual episode description, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you take a look at those. All of you out there, give this a watch for the first time or rewatch it if you haven't. Like maybe this sparked you guys. Go on Spotify, because I know at this point they still have the Over the Garden Wall soundtrack on it. Like, everything on there.
Yeah, like I said last episode, I'm definitely going to pick that up myself.
Yeah. Good luck finding it. The only physical copy I've seen of it is a vinyl.
I'll find my ways.
You probably will. But anyway, yeah, we've been going on for quite some time. Before you ask, because I know you're going to ask this.
Of course.
No plugs at this point.
Uh-huh.
But I have a secret project I'm going to be working on. I'm still hashing out details and stuff. Mm-hmm. But eventually, when I get everything hashed out and stuff, I will let you guys know. Or, because of how late this is going to be coming out, maybe I'll already have that.
Yeah. Well, no, this is going to come out like the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, then, no. Well, then I definitely...
All right, the last 2 weeks of October is when this is going to air, and then we're going to return to our regular Korra
our regularly scheduled program, because... I mean, we got a lot to cover on those as well.
Oh, yeah.
However, I know you, as always, have some plugs.
Yep, my plugs are the Forgotten Minotaur King podcast. If you loved Over the Garden Wall, you'll definitely like that too because of the episodic, adventurous nature of it.
Yeah, seriously, like I'm listening to it right now as well, and definitely give it a listen to.
Yep, and then also Matthew Lewis podcasts on YouTube, on Patreon, Matthew Lewis P on Twitter. Yeah, that's all what I got going on.
Any last comments before we cut off?
Big recommends. If you listen to this far, even if you didn't know anything and it possibly spoiled, watch it. It's worth it. The animation's great. It looks beautiful. The aesthetic, the music needs to be listened to. It's worth it. And
of course, there's a lot of big name. There's actually quite more big name like voice actors than I thought would be in it. So, but yeah, happy Halloween, all of you. Be safe, Halloween. Enjoy, and keep it sleazy.
Keep it. Hey. How dare you? This is Bat-Thew, what the heck was it? Spookwis, or whatever the heck I said earlier.
And the Highwayman.
Yeah, the Highwayman. See you guys.
Peace out.